Hello everyone and welcome back to Revisiting the MCU series. Today we're going to be talking about The Incredible Hulk, which actually came out in 2008, the same year that Iron Man launched the MCU. Now this one is often forgotten or excluded from the bunch. It isn't even included on Disney+, but it is recognized as being an MCU film on Marvel's own website, so that is why I'm including it here on this list. And with the various connections both in the movie and references to it afterward, it is technically canonical. And this by no means is a bad movie. It was a vast improvement over Ang Lee's 2003 Hulk, but it did have its problems. And I remember the main reason I even saw this movie was in the trailer that there was a scene where Hulk literally kicks Tim Roth's character in the chest and sends him flying.
Is that all you got?
And that was enough reason for me to want to see this movie. But after revisiting The Incredible Hulk, I realized while watching how both simultaneously great and mediocre it is. In terms of acting, Edward Norton did a decent job as Bruce Banner. I don't think he's the ideal guy, but for the most part it is convincing, and the turmoil he struggles with having a monster inside him is pretty good. I would have loved to see what he could have done up against the other Avengers had he stuck around in the MCU. Liv Tyler does an okay version of Betty Ross, but I feel like she did a very soft version. She wasn't very strong-willed unless it came to standing up to her father. And speaking of General Ross, played by William Hurt, I think it's a very ideal version of the character, so much so that they brought him back to the MCU 8 years after this movie. But the underrated performances have to come from Tim Roth and Tim Blake Nelson. Both are amazing, and neither get enough screen time, but they are for sure the underrated performances in my opinion, and I wish they would have been able to come back later to some degree. Now in terms of the overall look of the Hulk, the CGI is head and shoulders above the 2003 version, and it does hold up pretty well. This version of Hulk is a bit more anime to me, with the overabundance of muscles, 0% body fat, and hairstyle, but he does look pretty cool for the most part. In terms of story, it was okay. Banner on the run and struggling and dealing with the monster inside, but I did enjoy that we didn't spend forever on a full origin or reboot, and moved right along to Banner in Brazil and Tim Roth's character's journey to becoming the bad guy. I like that Hulk had a legit villain, which was basically just the bad version of him. In fact, I like Abomination way better than Doomsday from 2015's BVS. If they would have used that character design rather than the one they went with, it would have been a way better movie. The Incredible Hulk presented a lot of great ideas and stories for what I consider to be very underutilized and very unappreciated characters within Marvel. They can't quite get him right for one reason or another by himself, but when they put him with the Avengers, it just works a lot better. So those are essentially my thoughts on The Incredible Hulk. I wish they would have been able to utilize the character, at least this version of the character, a little bit more later down the line in terms of the MCU timeline, or if they would have just gotten Mark Ruffalo, who was a contender to play Banner originally. But I wish that they would have gone with one or the other, or at least they would have lived on to some degree. I would have loved to see Edward Norton portray and bounce off of Tony Stark, just to see how that dynamic would have portrayed. So those are essentially my thoughts on The Incredible Hulk. I think that there was a lot of good things in here, but I feel like if they would have continued on with it to some degree, or if it would have just pushed a little bit further and had a little bit longer of a life in the MCU, it would have just made the experience that much better. But you win some, you lose some. Now I want to hear from you guys. Do you like The Incredible Hulk? Do you think it's one of the best, one of the worst in the MCU? Make sure you let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss on any future videos, including ranking the MCU series as well as the end of the series, when I'm going to literally rank them from worst to best, so you don't want to miss out on that. Make sure you hit all the stuff down below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video.